Hey there guys, welcome back to Let's Play 999, 9 persons, 9 hours, 9 doors, with your host Damiel. So before we get started, I have another little investigative diatribe to go down. Last time we found out that there is a possibility, or a very strong possibility, that there are traitors in our midst. Someone put Snake behind door number 3 in order to activate his bomb and blow him up. So I crunched the numbers, I sat through a lot of different scenarios, and this is what I came up with. We know for a fact that here's a couple of things that I'm taking for granted. Number one is that Snake was one of the ones who used the door. That's not necessarily true. Theoretically, it could be something like, say, 7, Santa, and Ace all pressed the door in order to make, wait, that would be 11. Crap. Lotus, I don't know. Regardless, it could be some combination that gets to it without Snake, and then they just threw Snake through. Because I do think if you go through a door without using the keypad, your bomb will also activate. That's a little less likely, though, because why would Snake be near the doorway if he wasn't thinking he was going to go through? So I do think Snake is one of the people who use the door code, but let me just say, for obviously, it's not necessarily the case. I'm also going to take it as fact that I was not one of the murderers, because I was with myself the entire time. So Junpei is not one of the ones that threw Snake through the door. Lastly, I'm fairly certain Clover was also not involved, for the very simple reason that, her distraughtedness does seem genuine to me based on looking at it, and she was the one who insisted we check out door 3. And with that being the case, you know, if she was one of the ones that was complicit in throwing him through there and getting him blown up, it doesn't actually serve her in order to let the rest of us know that the murder occurred. It just casts suspicion on everyone, so I'm pretty sure that Clover is innocent. So let's break down who our murderers are most likely to be then. Assuming we have 3 murderers, which is not a guarantee, but assuming that there are a 3-person party, 2 murderers, we know Snake is one of them. And with Snake being one of them, we can't have just added up to 3. Because you need 3 people. You can't get to 3 with 3 people. You have to go up to 12 to do it. So with Snake being 2, it means our 2 murderers have to have a digital key of 10 or 0, I guess, or 1 technically, but they have to add up to 10. Well, already this causes us to really shrink the list down. You know, it's Lotus cannot be one of the murderers because Lotus would need to pair with Snake in order to add up to 10, and Snake is already accounted for in the equation. Similarly, June can't be the murderer because June would have to pair with Clover, who we already said was not one of the murderers. I can't be the murderer because not only did we watch me the whole time, but I would end up pairing with myself for 5 and 5, which that can't happen. And Ace is probably not the murderer because Ace would need to pair with the 9th man. But I notice I did say probably not. There is an outside possibility that whenever we came across Snake's corpse, they made it a point to talk about his wristband and how the 4th explosion has smashed it into the wall and it was broken now. I don't remember them specifically saying anything like that when we found the 9th man's body. So it is possible that the 9th man's wristband is still floating around somewhere. And so it is possible that Ace could have used the 9th man's wristband, tricked the scanner, and basically got to a factor of 10 all by himself. That would explain why he was, you know, if he was regretful and sorrowful over what he did, and if he just was really, I can see a scenario where he wanted to see, he's like, hey Snake, let me see if we can trick this thing into opening. Snake misunderstood and thought that they were going through the door, whereas all Ace actually wanted to do was see if he could use the 9th man's wristband and actually make it open when there, you know, weren't actually 3 of them there. But by the time he realized Snake went in, the door closed, and then Snake got blown up. I could see that being the case, and how Ace is like, I don't deserve to live. I let Snake get killed because I wasn't paying any damn attention. That's a possibility. But there is a totally reasonable Santa and Seven do add up to be 10. And we know for a fact from having hung out with Seven in the previous room that he is pretty prone to violence. I mean, he will rise against someone relatively quickly. So, not going to say that I think Seven is not capable of murder. So, Santa and Seven are my go-to thought. However, I should mention, it is also possible, if we have 3 murderers, that Ace, Snake, Santa, and June can come together and add up to 12. Or, because you can use 5 people as well, Ace, Snake, Santa, Seven, and Lotus all come together to be 21. Here's the thing to note, however. Every combination other than the weird Ace 9th man bracelet combination, every other one, assuming I'm right about Clover not being involved, involves Santa. You got Snake, Santa, and Seven for the 3-person, Ace, Snake, Santa, and June for the 4-person, and Ace, Snake, Santa, Seven, and Lotus for the 5-person. In case you're wondering why the other ones don't really work, if you look at, say, Lotus and try and get 21 out of her, Lotus and Seven together add up to being 15. So with Snake, that's up to 17. You would need 4. Oh, wait, that's Clover. Okay, so take Lotus and June. They add together to be 14. Snake goes up to 16, so to get to 21, you now need 5. Oh, wait, that's me. And you just end up right in that sweet spot of 4 and 5 where we've already cleared and said 4 and 5 cannot be involved in this. So I definitely feel like, assuming that it's not just a weird accident, Santa was involved, because he's involved in every combination I can think of. But that said, let's push on with the game.
Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think.
Okay, I don't know why. I think it only has certain, like, play points.
Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah.
Yep, nobody's in the clear.
That means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
June is not the smartest peg in the basket of pegs.
How can you say that so casually?
I mean, June, being in denial is not going to help unless we're in Egypt.
You're implying that one of us is a killer.
Technically 2.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven?
7 doesn't actually seem agitated. That's actually why June is upset, is because 7 is not agitated right now.
What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
Well, it's worth looking at, though.
What? Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it?
That is a possibility that somehow Zero tricks Snake into there. I hadn't considered that, because it seems like it'd be a violation of the theme of the game.
Any game has a winner and loser.
You guys are losers.
Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are the losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Yes. That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion.
Well, but if someone's actually tricking people through a door to kill them, that's certainly something relevant.
We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship. Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
Yes. Almost certainly Zero himself.
That is a possibility I hadn't actually considered.
If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us.
But that seems like such a betrayal of the whole purpose of the game.
Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
It almost sounds like you're trying to make Zero into the boogeyman of the game. We hadn't really considered that. It's interesting that Junpei's inner monologue refers to Junpei in the third person.
If Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
Junpei? Zero still on the ship with them? Junpei wasn't sure. He wasn't sure.
Something's still strange.
What was that?
Well, I'm just wondering about one thing.
If he's on the ship with us, then what's his plan if we don't get out within 9 hours?
And what's that?
How can you be so sure that Zero's on this ship?
Ace's eyebrows shot up.
Really, Junpei? I confess I'm a little disappointed. Usually you're rather sharp. Isn't it obvious?
It's not obvious to me.
Wait, it is?
This ship.
Huh?
The not Titanic?
Zero said, this ship, several times when he addressed us.
I definitely did not put that together. Not at all. It's an interesting observation, though.
If he weren't here, he wouldn't say this ship, would he?
I mean, that's an awful long jump to make out of an awfully innocuous statement, but I can't say you're
He'd
incorrect.
be saying something like, that ship, or the ship.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
It does make sense. I'm actually pretty impressed with that leap of logic, as it were. His explanation made perfect sense. Jimmy felt a little foolish he hadn't seen it himself. Still, he was left with a question. It was one of no small
If
importance.
Zero's on the ship, where is he?
Suddenly, everyone went very quiet. Silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again, he heard the ghosting, moaning noise. It's not really a ghosting, moaning noise. It is the clanking of metal across itself. Moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. With the floor, she spoke, and her voice was a cold monotone.
I think Zero is
A bad person.
one of us.
That's possible, but I doubt it. That's an interesting turn for every human body in the room froze. The cat in the corner didn't give a fuck, but all the humans. Eyes started from face to face. One of those faces was the face of their jailer. But which one? Was he one of them? I mean, it is possible, but he'd have to have some sort of override. Like, is he just planning on going down with the ship in case we don't make it through?
Well, that's possible.
Huh?
Like Clover said, Zero might be one of us.
What are you saying, Jumpy? Didn't you hear what Ace said?
Exactly. I said we shouldn't suspect one another for no reason.
That is true. I'm still. This seems like something that Zero would do, from what little I know of Zero.
No reason. I've got a great reason. And what's that?
There's an exploded body in the next room.
Bracelets. Why are the bombs in our bodies connected to the bracelets? You're all thinking Zero's hiding somewhere watching us, right? If he's doing that, then he could just detonate the bombs by remote control if someone did something they weren't supposed to. It would be a lot more precise and a lot easier. But if that's the case, then why is the bomb set off by the detonator in the bracelet?
That's actually a really good point. Good job, Junpei. Junpei is so smart. It is so refreshing to be able to play a character that is not a dumbass.
You got a point.
I'm not done. Try applying the same ideas to the nonary game. All of the puzzles here run all by themselves. In other words, Zero doesn't have to be controlling them for the game to move forward. Why's that? Why would Zero bother to do something like that?
I feel a little bit bad that I hadn't considered a whole lot of this stuff, because I was just like letting the plot unfold, but it's a really, really, really good point. Junpei let the question hang in the air and looked at the others. It was Santa who answered.
So let's say you and Clover are right. Zero's one of us. If that's the case, then it'd be really hard for him to keep track of all of us or control anything remotely. That's why all the puzzles run by themselves. That's what you're getting at, right?
I mean, yeah, in a nutshell.
Yeah, Seven, when we were talking earlier, you said any one of us could be Snake's killer, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember what I said. God dang.
Alright then. I've got a question for you, Ace. You said something like Zero must be the one who killed Snake, right?
Yes, something like that. I can't think of any other explanation.
I love how Junpei has kind of like moved into detective mode at this
So
point.
what do we get if we combine those? They fit together pretty well, I think. Something like this.
Any one of us could be Zero.
Whoever killed Snake is Zero. Hence, Zero is one of us. Seven and Ace's theories aren't mutually exclusive. They actually complement each other pretty well.
But that actually means that Zero has an accomplice, because you can't open the doors by yourself unless Ace is Zero, and he has the ninth man's bracelet.
At least they do if Zero is one of us.
Their faces were grim, but Junpei wasn't sure if they believed him or not. Finally, Lotus spoke up.
What were his motives?
What, Zero's?
His motives.
Yes, isn't that pretty important? Why would Zero want to hide as one of us?
Oh, well, that's because...
Well, he wants to see the game unfold, and he probably can't really have surveillance cameras all over the place. We'd break them. He hadn't thought of that. He had to be honest with himself. He had no idea.
I don't know.
Well, so much for making a persuasive argument, Junpei.
I'm still fairly convinced, actually. I think Junpei's on the right track.
In other words, you only had circumstantial evidence.
Well, yeah, but this isn't a court of law, Ace.
I don't really think that's enough to go on, you know?
She was painfully aware of their eyes on him and their disapproval. He tried to find something else, anything else to look at. In that horrible silence, they heard the bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase.
It's 3 in the morning.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Oh, damn, I didn't realize I gotten that low.
Then we need to move now. Seven, Clover, Junpei. I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you?
I'm actually getting more convinced that it's Ace as time goes on. I don't have anything to go that, but he is really, really, really not wanting to, like, that's the problem. What he's doing makes sense if he's Zero, and also makes sense if he's not Zero.
You're right, but...
Junpei couldn't bring himself to respond. He swallowed the words he wanted to say and sighed. Seven and Clover remained similarly silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were going.
Our next destination is Mercury.
But maybe you and June should check it out first and then report back to us.
Why?
All right, let's go, June.
Right. Here it is.
It sat, bolted to the wall by the stairs led to the casino and the kitchen, between the two elevators.
The Mercury card reader.
We're using the card 7 gave us, right?
We are.
Yeah,
I found it when we were checking out the shower room.
I think Seven said something like that. Anyway, let's see what happens.
She slid the card through the reader. Now the reader went green and made a tiny electronic noise.
I guess the elevator works now.
Jumpy, I know it's only the 2 of us, but let's do our
Of
best.
course we're doing our best, although again, I don't know what 2 of us are going to do. If we run into a door, we can't do anything with it.
What's with you all of a sudden?
Well, I'm happy we were put together.
Aww.
You know it's just for searching E-Deck, right?
Even so, I'm glad I'm with you.
Oh. First, we need to find out if the elevator comes up full of water.
Just like we did before.
I'm assuming it won't, because that would be very lame. Nope.
Oh, here it is.
I knew it. It's not wet at all.
Let's go.
Yes.
Here we go. Let's find out what we find out on E-Deck. Let's find out what we find out. I am so good at speaking, you guys.
Look! Nearly all of the buttons are destroyed.
Yeah, only the seat and bottom button can be pushed.
Oh, it's interesting that we didn't just custom make the elevator only go through those. We actually just disabled the
We're
other
on
ones.
C deck right now, so the only one we can choose is bottom.
Yeah.
Let's go to the butt.
Well, let's try it out. Oh, so this is the bottom deck.
Let's have a look. Although we've already been down here once. We're just on an elevator, so we're on the other side, right? Stepped off, so the hallway to the right end, somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. Hallway in front of them was a dead end. But not a regular dead end. This one had a zombie.
Hey, over there.
This is a numbered door.
So now we have... Wow, wait a second. So we started with 2 numbered doors, then we got 3. And now we have found another 3 of them. That's a total of 8. That means the 9th door is the only one left.
This is the 8th one we found. There were 2 numbered doors on B deck near the central staircase. They were doors 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
3 more in the large hospital room. Doors 3, 7, and 8.
And the door we found on E deck, and the door Lotus and Santa found on A deck. It was a 6 on the door on E deck, and a 1 on the door on A
Yep,
deck.
we found all the doors except the one to get out. Now door 2 stood in front of Junpei.
That means...
Do you think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gonna be door 9.
So Junpei felt excited. There was something about that excitement that frightened him as well.
Finally!
Yeah,
You don't look very happy about it, though.
it's not that. I just hope nothing goes wrong.
You're right. We should keep our fingers crossed.
Let's do it.
Let's head back.
Okay.
It is best to put it from his mind and headed back to C deck with June. I am a little curious what they're going to do because they got rid of us for a while.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 7 pieces.
Piece of paper they folded up lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. Everyone had written on paper pulled from Junpei's notebook in an effort to pull together a blind vote.
Just double checking, but everyone wrote their code name and a door number they want, right?
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
What? This is not going to work out.
Can't believe we're voting here.
Why they just have to vote that way?
We need to make the whole thing fair, blah-de-blah. This is a complicated plan, you know.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time, guys. We should just be, like, dividing up and going.
Hurry it up, Mr. I have a brilliant idea.
They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors.
Yeah, quiet in the peanut gallery.
And he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of. However, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the piece
All
of
right,
paper.
let's open these up. The first one says, Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going. Next is Santa. He wants door 6.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2.
Wait a minute. There is no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man.
Oh, be nice, Lotus. Don't be a jerk.
No, there'd be no point to the voting if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
But,
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
Wow, that is quite the thing to say. That's a little bit astounding. Good lord, hopefully you guys can't hear that. The dryer or the washer kicked into its last cycle. I'm like, wow, I did not realize how loud it was. I apologize. We're almost done though.
I am not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes.
Barely.
So, last I checked, that's not a crime.
Maybe. But what about common decency? Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin.
I'm actually going to stop because I'm worried that this is getting picked up. 1 second. Welcome back, guys. Sorry about that. I did listen to the recording. It looks like it wasn't too bad. It was really loud in here, but this microphone is really, really good at being noise canceling, which is fairly incredible. I mean, I really, really like it. So it really didn't pick up the sound very much at all. So that's good.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you!
That is a very low blow, but also, I mean, someone that looks the way Lotus does is going to be very, very prideful about her body, or she wouldn't be a belly dancer. Wait, did she actually tackle him? Lotus's hair felt like a man of angry line.
Oh, not good.
Let go! Let go of me! I'm killing him!
Some difficulty. Ace managed to restrain her.
Junpei, read the wrist.
Right.
She tore his eyes away and looked down at the 6th piece of paper.
June wants door 6.
Yes, I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All the papers save Junpei had been read. He did some quick calculations in his head.
So this was everyone's vote. Ace and Clover requested door 1.
There's a door on A deck near the central staircase.
7 and Lotus requested door 2.
There's a door near the bottom deck and computers in the elevator on the ship.
Santa and June requested door 6.
Okay, so Ace and Clover add up to 5, so they would need me to get to 10 so they could go to door 1. 7 and Lotus are 2. They come together to be 15, so they're not. They would need to get to. How do they even get to 2? They would need me to go to freaking 20. Santa and June, I bet it's going to be the same thing. Come together to be 9. So yeah, there's just a no-go.
Then the door I should choose is...
Took less than a second to run the numbers. Covered in 7 pieces of paper and spoke.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through...
Like, those are the only 2 that make sense, right? Because Santa and June come together to be 9. Add me is 14. That does not door 6. I wanna see freaking 7 and Lotus kill each other.
My choice is door 2.
Santa was unconvinced.
Hey, wait a minute there. You cheating?
Cheating?
I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted.
Santa is very on top of things. I'm impressed.
How could I do that? I wrote it down on the paper earlier.
Let me see that.
Sure, here.
Shabay shrugged and handed it to him. Santa examined it furiously. The others peered at it as well. So they did. Maybe he'd been hiding into his pocket. Although he'd never know it now. Santa had been justified in his suspicions. Junpei had switched papers.
I had 3 pieces of paper ready.
For doors 1, 2, and
I put
6.
the one with door 6 on it into the pot.
Put a small mark on it so we would know which one was his.
I just needed to make sure I drew last. After I saw everyone else's result, I just chose whatever door I wanted.
What's the point then?
Remember, I'd already put in matched, then I didn't have to switch the paper out. Well, what does it say?
He fought the urge to smirk.
You got lucky.
Alright. So we know who's going through door 2. It'll be me, Lotus, and Junpei.
7 plus 5, 8 plus 5 is
The only
20.
problem's the other 2 teams.
June and I want door 6.
Clover and I choose door 1.
And neither of you can make it.
That's not good. We can't open either of those doors with only 2 people.
Everyone was silent. And suddenly Clover spoke, her face blank and cold.
Why don't Santa and June go into door 1 with Ace?
Aw, she's leaving herself out?
Huh?
Well,
They looked at one another. Finally, Ace spoke.
And what will you do, Clover?
I'll be waiting at the stairs. You guys are coming back here, right? That's what 7 was saying, wasn't it?
I mean, that makes sense, and we're going to have to split up at some point anyway. Maybe what 7 said.
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again.
And Seven's been correct so far.
Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. That's how the notary game works.
Which I thought was a suspicious thing to
I'm
say.
sorry, but I just want to be by myself for a while.
I don't blame you, Clover.
You understand, right?
There was no emotion on her face, but it was drawn and pale, and her eyes were red. And no one had the heart to contradict her. The room grew very quiet. Silence drifted down over everything like a blanket of fresh snow. It was Santa that finally spoke.
All right, I'm going through door 1. That all right with you, June?
Yes.
June nodded.
Well, we'll be going then.
Let's move too.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go.
And just like that, their paths were
I won't
set.
see June for a while, but this was my choice. I'm just going to have to suck it up. Seven said we'd all see each other again, and I'm going to believe that.
Yeah, I just want to try and keep these two from killing each other. We want to need their numbers.
The other group went to A deck to go through door 1. Clover joined them. Our group is on our way too. We're heading to the bottom deck using the elevators. I wonder what we'll find down there.
And we will find out the answer to that next time. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. I will see you in the next episode of 999. We're getting kind of pseudo close to the end. Maybe.